Pot roast. Just the name evokes warmth and comfort. It's a dish that speaks of slow weekends and family dinners. The aroma alone is enough to make your mouth water. And the taste? It's pure satisfaction in every bite. Today, we're going to tackle a classic pot roast. Don't worry, it's easier than you might think. We'll walk through each step together, from prepping the ingredients to serving this hearty meal. By the end, you'll be a pot roast pro. The beauty of a pot roast lies in its simplicity. It's all about quality ingredients and a little patience. The low and slow cooking method works its magic, transforming tough cuts of beef into melt-in-your-mouth tenderness. So, are you ready to get cooking? Let's gather our ingredients and create a pot roast that will have everyone asking for seconds. Before we begin, let's make sure we have everything we need. This will prevent any last-minute grocery runs. Here's our shopping list. Beef. You'll need about 1.5 to 2 kilograms of beef brisket or chuck roast. These cuts are perfect for pot roast as they become incredibly tender when cooked slowly. Aromatics. No pot roast is complete without onions and garlic. Grab 1 large onion and 4 garlic cloves. These will add a savory depth of flavor to our dish. Liquids. We'll be using a combination of 2 cups of beef stock and 1 cup of red wine. The stock provides a rich base while the wine adds complexity and depth. If you prefer to skip the alcohol, simply use additional beef stock. Flavor enhancers. To boost the flavor even further, we'll need 2 tablespoons of tomato paste and 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. These ingredients add a savory umami punch that takes the pot roast to the next level. Vegetables. For heartiness and color, we'll be adding 4 large carrots, 3 to 4 medium potatoes, and 2 celery stalks. These vegetables will cook alongside the beef, soaking up all the delicious flavors. Herbs and spices. Finally, gather 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 2 sprigs of fresh rosemary, and 2 to 3 sprigs of fresh thyme. These seasonings will enhance the natural flavors of the beef and vegetables. With our ingredients prepped and ready, we can move on to the first step, preparing the beef. Before we sear the beef, we need to give it a good pat down with some paper towels. This removes excess moisture, allowing the beef to brown beautifully. Browning creates a flavorful crust that adds depth to our pot roast. Next, generously season the beef with salt and pepper. Don't be shy. Seasoning is crucial for a flavorful pot roast. Make sure to get all sides of the beef for even distribution. While we're at it, let's preheat our oven to 160 degrees Celsius or gas mark 3. This will ensure the oven is nice and hot when our pot roast is ready for its long, slow cook. Now that our beef is prepped and our oven is heating, we can move on to the exciting part, searing. Section 4. Searing. The first step to tenderness. Searing might seem like an extra step, but trust me, it's crucial for a flavorful and juicy pot roast. Searing creates a beautiful brown crust on the beef, locking in those delicious juices. Heat 2 tablespoons of olive oil in a large oven-proof pot or Dutch oven over medium-high heat. You'll know the oil is hot enough when it shimmers, and a drop of water sizzles instantly. Carefully place the seasoned beef in the hot oil. You should hear a satisfying sizzle. Sear the beef on all sides until it develops a rich golden brown crust. This should take about 4 to 5 minutes per side. Don't worry if the bottom of the pot browns a bit. Those browned bits are flavor bombs that we'll use later to create a delicious gravy. Section 5. Building a flavorful base. Once the beef is beautifully seared, remove it from the pot and set it aside. Don't worry, it will rejoin the party later. Now it's time to build our flavor base. Lower the heat to medium and add the sliced onion to the pot. Cook the onion until it softens and becomes translucent, about 5 minutes. Stir in the minced garlic and cook for another minute until fragrant. Now, for a flavor boost, stir in 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Cook for 1 to 2 minutes, stirring constantly. This will caramelize the tomato paste, adding a depth of flavor to our pot roast. Next, it's time to deglaze the pot. This is where we release all those delicious browned bits from the bottom of the pot, adding even more flavor to our dish. Section 6. Roasting to perfection. For deglazing, pour in 1 cup of red wine, if using, and 2 cups of beef stock. Use a wooden spoon to scrape the bottom of the pot, loosening all those flavorful bits. Stir in 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce for an extra layer of umami. Now return the seared beef to the pot, nestling it amongst the flavorful liquid. Add the chopped carrots, potatoes, celery, rosemary sprigs, and thyme sprigs around the beef. Ensure the liquid comes halfway up the side of the meat, add more stock if necessary. Cover the pot tightly with a lid, and transfer it to the preheated oven. This is where the magic happens. The pot roast will braise slowly in the oven, becoming incredibly tender and flavorful. Let the pot roast work its magic for 3 to 4 hours. You'll know it's done when the beef is fork tender, meaning it easily pulls apart. The aroma wafting from your oven will be irresistible. Section 7. Serving and savoring your pot roast. Once the pot roast is cooked, carefully remove it from the oven. Be cautious as the pot will be hot. Let it rest for about 15 minutes before slicing. This allows the juices to redistribute, ensuring a moist and flavorful pot roast. While the pot roast rests, let's turn our attention to the braising liquid. Use a spoon to skim off any excess fat that has risen to the top. You can discard the fat or save it for later use. If you prefer a thicker gravy, you can reduce the braising liquid. Simply simmer it over medium heat for a few minutes, allowing it to thicken to your liking. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for, slice or shred the pot roast and serve it with the cooked vegetables. Don't forget to generously ladle that luscious gravy over the top. This dish is fantastic on its own, but it also pairs wonderfully with crusty bread for sopping up all that delicious gravy. Mashed potatoes or polenta are also great accompaniments. And here's a bonus tip: pot roast tastes even better the next day. The flavors have more time to meld and deepen, making for an even more satisfying meal. So there you have it, a classic pot roast recipe that's easy to follow and guaranteed to impress. Enjoy.